So, what happens when one of America's most glamorous cities becomes one of its most expensive, politically divided, and emotionally exhausting places to live? Welcome to Miami 2026, a city where Lamborghinis sit next to flooded streets, where luxury towers rise while working families get pushed farther away, and where politics, money, culture, and survival all collide under the South Florida sun. Today, we're talking about what life in Miami really feels like right now, not the Instagram version, but the reality behind the filters. And today, joining me, I can call him my cousin, my primo. Alex brings to us a very different view here. He lives in Miami. He's been in Miami for 26 years. He's done a number of things there. He's still there for now, although soon we may get him out of there. So, welcome, Alex.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you. Alex is here, and I wanted his opinions because he's a talker like I am. He can talk for days on end, and I love that about him. And today I asked him what he wanted to talk about, and he said Miami. Well, we were talking about Miami, but Miami says basically two cities with one reality. And I'm going to pop some stats up here for everybody to see. And then we're going to talk about this because Miami has changed and it's done it fast. Inbound immigration to Miami, Dade County, increased 89% between 2020 and 2024. COVID had a lot to do with that because people started working remotely. The median household price increased since 2020 by 62%. Average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $4,031. Oh my God. Higher cost of living than the rest of the US, 23% higher cost of living, 76,000 people moving to Florida each month in 2023. 76,000 damn people. And 72% of new residents are working remotely. And now, when Alex and I were talking about this earlier, he mentioned that people from New York are getting down there, and now they're running into some issues.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I can see it every day. You can see it in the traffic. You can see it in the buildings. A lot of new constructions, new buildings in all the areas, and most in the important areas like downtown, Brickell, South Beach, Wingwood, Design District, Midtown. And in fact, in the west side, you can see new residences. More people living in the south in agriculture Mexican town homestead. Now you can see everywhere a lot of new residences and houses and condos and townhouses. Then it's a lot of people living now here, no? And the cost of life is increasing every day, no? Yeah.
Well, what's a gallon of gas right now there?
Well, depends. In South Beach is a little more expensive, but it's 4.50 for $4.50. Sometimes there is a difference between if it is a touristic area like South
Okay.
Beach, they charge you more. It's offer and demand. Depends of the city, but sometimes there is a difference of 30 cents or 40 cents between cities. But usually the standard is 4.50. Yeah, and
Well,
it's
you've been in
reasonable.
Miami you were there through the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, knowing that how, let's say 2019, the beginning of 2020, before the pandemic went crazy, you knew what Miami felt like. The pandemic happened, you were stuck inside, got out every so often, and then it ended. And then you went into the pandemic with Miami being one thing, and you came out with Miami being something different. What was the biggest change from 2020 to when everybody was let loose?
I can see that a lot of people were coming here from different areas. And in fact, from New York came a lot of people because the people from New York, well, I don't know if it is the issue, but well, in the pandemic, they think that the cold weather, you can, you can, you can get sick of COVID more easy in the
Yeah.
cold weather. That was not true. But maybe the people in that panic, they say, I am going to move to some warm area that the virus it's not affecting me like in the cold areas like New York.
Yeah.
First, I saw that a lot of people from New York is coming, but after that, constantly I saw people in Miami, from California, a lot of people from Europe. Uh, it's very important for me because I am an Uber driver. Then I can see every day the people from other countries or cities, because I can see the plates in the cars, and you can see Maryland, and you can see New York, and you can see a lot of California, a lot of plates with different states, and I don't think that is tourist, because I saw that cars in some areas that are not tourists, no, and a lot of them. Maybe you can rent a car and the plate is from another place, but maybe you can um, came from New York driving, but it's not normal to see a lot of cars with foreign plates, because
Yeah.
when you to Miami, if you are a tourist, you don't need to bring your car from your city. You can rent a car, or you can use Uber, or you can use transportation in the touristic areas, no? And I see, and the people who get in my car from Uber, they are from New York, they are from different places, and you can see it every day. Yeah,
Okay. So basically, it's an influx of people. I know the people moving from New York or from California. It's because they have one of the highest tax rates for individuals there. So by leaving those two cities, they're dropping all the personal taxes, all the state taxes, all the municipal. You'd be surprised, Alex. When I lived up in Pennsylvania, we not only paid the federal tax, we paid the state tax, we paid the county tax, and then we paid the city tax. It it it's like they don't want to leave you anything.
yeah, yeah. The question here, well, we pay high taxes in property, because
Yeah,
in property taxes, um, 7% in buying things tax, not the for the. But well, the problem here is true that in California you pay more taxes, but you make more money. I was reading that the $25 per hour is the minimum. In
yeah,
Miami, is $10. It's nothing. I saw people here making like $11 per hour. I take an Uber a lot of people, and they have two jobs.
yeah,
Then okay, you don't pay taxes like in California, but you don't make money like in California.
yeah,
Then it's the big difference, because well, okay, I don't pay taxes here, too much taxes, that's true, but well, I make $14 per hour. I cannot live with that in Miami. It's so expensive. Then it's
yeah,
a contradiction, no? It's a contradiction, because the salaries are not good, and the life is expensive, and you don't pay too much taxes. Then California, the life is expensive, you pay a lot of taxes, but you make more money, no?
yeah. I actually popped up a quick graphic on that. Housing costs through the roof. Higher median rent in the U.S. by 46%. Rent breaks the budget. On average, 2,750 average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment, depending on what area in Miami you're in. If you're outside of proper Miami, if you're in South Beach or anywhere like that, you'll never pay that. The homeowners insurance, Florida's having a big issue with homeowners insurance. A lot of companies have left, are refusing to do it. The insurance cost has gone up by 42%. There's some homes that can't even, they're just selling their houses. They're trying to get out of the state because it's gotten too expensive for retirees. Food costs on average is up 22%, and incomes, believe it or not, are down by 15%. So they're not even growing on the national average. So just like Alex is saying, everything costs more. It keeps going up, but people are getting paid less and less as time goes by. It's not
Yeah,
fair.
and the problem is that with the insurance, it's so crazy here. The hurricane insurance, for example, I pay $700 per association, the maintenance, to have
Yeah,
common areas, the clubhouse, and it's an old clubhouse, but we have Olympic swimming pool there and a lot of things, right? But when I bought the house, in 2003, I used to pay $200 per maintenance. Now I am paying $700 per maintenance, and that includes
Wow.
the hurricane insurance. That is per month, and I pay $3,500 per property taxes per year. But I have the benefit because it's my first house, my main
Okay.
house, my principal house. Then I just pay that. But if I have a second house, I pay double because
Yeah.
I have a benefit because it's my first house, my first
You get the
house.
homestead exemption. That's what they
Yeah,
call it in Florida, the homestead.
pension. Then I pay
Yeah.
3,500. But 3 years ago, they start to 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 give me I have to pay an extra hurricane insurance. They told me that, well, the $700 that includes the hurricane insurance is not enough. Now you have to pay $1,200 per year extra to cover the insurance here in Florida. And I say, wow, why? Because it's included in the 700. It's a condo, it's a townhouse, it's association insurance for all the houses,
Yeah.
not a single house. No, 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 no. But the problem with insurance is crazy here in Florida, and well, you have to pay that. And well, I see that we don't have too many hurricanes in 25 years, in 26 years that no 23 years, no 26 years that I have been here. To increase
Yeah.
that is is ridiculous, no? In Sarasota was 2 years ago the problem, the hurricane problem. I understand, but the prices are out of the control because not every year. Last year was so nice, no hurricanes last year, and the prices don't decrease, just
Yeah.
increase. We have sometimes 3 years without hurricanes, and the prices never decrease. That's why I don't understand that. No, what is
The
the
the insurance companies, unless they're going to make money, they have no reason to be there. They're not there to lose money. That's the way they say it. And that's why some of the insurance companies have already left. And it's a shame. It really is that they're going to price people out. People have to leave. The villages, up in Ocala, the villages used to sell so many places and get so full, and it's gotten to the point now where the people there, they're on a strict retirement budget. They sold their house anywhere else and they sold everything and they moved there because of the insurance costs and the cost of living and the way everything else is going up. I was watching a documentary that the villages are now starting to empty out. People aren't coming in; they're just trying to get out. It's gotten ridiculous for them. Plus, they don't have the medical care that they need there either.
Yeah, in fact, I got a, a, a friend from Argentina. She has two kids, and she moved to Fort Myers
Okay.
because she's getting a house there in $1,700, three bedrooms and two bathrooms. And she said, "Well, I cannot afford that in Miami. It's crazy."
No.
And now I got a beautiful house with a yard and everything in 1,800, 700, something like that, and with three bedrooms and two bathrooms. No,
Yeah.
then if you get out from Miami, from the big cities, so, well, you can get better prices like Ocala, like Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Uh, I think maybe Gainesville, maybe Tallahassee, you can get better prices. But forget about it. Naples is rich people. West Palm Beach, rich people. Boca
Yeah.
Raton, rich people. Miami, rich people. Well, it's not the same like before, no. And the other problem is here in fact, America. I don't know other states, but America has a big problem with health. The health here, I got Obamacare, thank God, but well,
Hmm.
I see a lot of abuses in the health system. I went to have a laboratory for your urine, and they told me no problem, your results are okay, but we are going to make you a test now. We are going to put some hose in your member, and we are going to what? You don't worry, it's just in 5 minutes. It's easy. Why? They didn't. They didn't. They didn't give me time to say no. No, no, don't worry. They come to us and they charge to the insurance help $3,900 just for that test. And
Yeah,
I think they hurt me. And one friend told me, you have to sue them because they cannot do that. Just if you have
that's
a
crazy.
infection or you have a prostate problem, but they don't have to introduce a hose in your, I don't know how you say that,
No,
a
no,
hose.
I understand.
Then in other things, one friend went to the emergency room, and she and they took there like 12 hours. They make a scan, MRI, a lot of studies that she didn't need, and after they charged her with $14,000, and it was just an infection in the vejiga. I don't know the name, vejiga or
Kidney,
uh,
liver.
yeah, glib, or yeah,
Yeah.
the urine, yeah. She has just an infection there, and that's it.
Wow.
And they took her there 12 hours. Then is something broken that they have to fix, and the health and the about the cost of living. No, the problem here, I think that there is no regulations. No, you don't have to be a socialist to put regulation, but the commitment of the government is to protect the companies. I agree, and to try that they make money. The competent to create
Yeah.
money. But you have to protect the citizens from the abuse of the companies. Also, you have to regulate them. No, don't
No,
do
that
that. Don't make studies. No.
yeah, that actually takes us into the next thing I'd sort of put together while we were talking. The Miami's politics, the identity and the change. It's a very, very diverse city. It used to be a Democratic city, but in the last 12 years, Republican registration almost doubled from 17 to 31%. So it has really leaned hard to the Republican side. It has a huge Latino electorate. I mean, you're looking at 70+% of the voters in Miami are Latino. So the Latinos decide what happens in Miami. Young voters are rising. Uh, as opposed to other areas, there's been like a 50% increase in the voting population under 40. Immigration is big. 60% of residents in Miami are foreign born. And Florida, I don't know how it's become a very Republican state. It's on the battleground for everything. I mean, Florida spends loads of money on its politics. So I believe that the pendulum may be swinging in the other direction at the moment because so much has happened with politics here recently and everywhere else in the country. They're leaving the Republican Party, although they may stay there, but they're voting for the other side because they're not happy with what things are happening. You're around a lot of people. How do people feel? Do they say that they voted for the current president and they'll never do that again? They won't even vote for that party now?
Yeah, the problem is now was the rhetoric of Trump is Trump is so smart because he takes rules from dictators like Hitler. Trump read the books of Hitler. He knows
Hmm.
he's a media guy. He knows he has to make a scandal every day. Repeat one lie until the people they believe in that. I am
Yeah.
the best president. Iran has a nuclear weapon. Repeat every day. Repeat, and the people believe it. Then that's why do it with Florida, Miami. The Cuban people who comes here and Venezuelan, they are afraid of socialists. But that's
Yeah.
funny because I never has been a socialist. It's just stupid because well, Roosevelt in the Great Depression in the 30s, uh, the people said that he was a socialist and he saved America in that Great Depression in Roosevelt, and he was a
Yeah.
Democrat in three periods. In that time, they have three periods, presidents periods. Then it's a rhetoric that they use always when there is elections. No. Don't
Hmm.
vote in Miami or don't vote in Florida for Democrats because they are socialists. They don't know Canada. They don't know France. They don't know what is the real socialist
Yeah.
or communist. Cuba is not communist. Cuba is a
It's a dictatorship.
dictatorship
Yeah.
because there is no change of power. And there are two big difference between in dictators. There are left dictator or there are right dictators, but it's the same thing. Trump protects the companies, the money of the companies, but he talks to the poor people and he makes the same things like a left dictator. The left dictator attacks to the companies that it's just a rhetoric. At the end of the road is the same thing to have the
Yeah.
full power. It doesn't matter if it is right or it doesn't matter if it is left. China is changing to the right, and it's a dictator. North Korea is a left dictator, but it's the same goal to have the full power. Then Cuba, they are talking all the time communists, and the people, the leaders in Cuba say that America is the problem, and it's just rhetoric.
Yeah.
America is the problem. The capitalism is the problem. No, the problem is that we have dictators in capitalism or in the left side, whatever, on the right side. No, that's the problem. And the people in Miami believe that stories, and they vote for Trump. But the Miami Dade always has been a Democrat. The county, the Miami City was always in 30 years was Republican. But now, 1 year ago or some months ago, lost for first time in 30 years the Republican candidate and won the Democratic candidate was a girl, American girl, blonde girl.
Hmm.
Now she in Miami City, and that was for Trump.
Yeah.
In 30 years, never had a
A
Democratic
Democrat or even a woman.
mayor in Miami
Yeah.
City, and I saw in a map, in America map, that the most intelligent people or professional people, they are more rich cities and they are Democrat.
Yeah.
The most intelligent people.
Yeah.
You can see the map and it's blue. You see all the Florida red in some rural areas, but the big city are blue. The big cities are blue
Hmm.
because the people who vote for Trump is more people that they have not studies. No, California is so powerful in money, in population, in new industry, in technology, in agriculture, and should be the fifth economy in the world if California would be
Yeah.
a country. Then now they are going to change because the Cubans here are I think 40% maybe Cubans. There are Argentinians, Venezuelans. The Cubans and the Venezuelans help and including Mexican in the south, in the agriculture area cities. They believe in Trump, and that is changing a lot because they are getting affected.
Yes.
Inclusive Cubans, I saw Cubans in arrested and they have good record, and
Hmm.
they watching now how they are getting affected for Trump, and they vote for him for Trump Republicans. I think that it will be a big change. Florida in the government or in the presidential election always is not a big difference. No, was some time ago was a swipe. How do you say a sliding a swipe sweep state. Sometimes
Yeah.
was, but like maybe 10 years ago is showing more for Republican. But before that time was sometimes Republican, sometimes Democrat. But
It kept
this time
swinging left and right. Yeah.
swimming. Now it will be a big change, I think, because everybody's suffering, inclusive American citizen, Anglo-Saxon American citizen. They are suffering all the things. You can talk about the veterans. You can talk
Hmm.
about the choice of the government. Not just the illegals or on the human immigrants are getting affected. The American citizens are getting affected in the economy and well, you can see some like in Minneapolis, white people were killed, white
Yeah.
people were arrested, citizens. That's incredible. Then it's not affecting just on the human on the undocumented immigrants. It's affecting American citizens, and that is
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, and we're going to be running short on time, so I wanted to hit one thing that you actually spoke about, which was the the climate, how the hurricane insurance, and how, because insurance companies don't want to stay there anymore because they lose money. So Florida is the most climate risk state in the U.S. The risk score, which means how high it scores for natural damage, is 98.63 out of 100. So Florida's dangerous for its hurricanes. Sea levels around Miami are rising faster than average. So it could be that in 20, 30 years, those that had beachfront property, now their property is actually in the ocean. The annual days of nuisance flooding in Miami, it's over 180 days a year that certain parts of Miami's getting flooded by a rain or something coming in. And insurers, like I said earlier, 12 insurers left Florida since 2022. 12 insurance companies. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and well, it it, I saw a long time ago when we have in 2005 or 2007, like 3 years, we have a lot of hurricanes. And what's funny because the people was getting out from Florida because in that time was every year was constantly hurricanes, and they said, no, forget it, it
Yeah.
will be the same every year. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, like 5 years, nothing happened. And well, it's
I
not
remember
something.
those years.
Yeah, it's unpredictable then. And now
Yeah.
it's after pandemics coming a lot of people, and we have maybe 1 year with one hurricane and Sarasota 2 years ago, and last year nothing, and maybe we have 1 year yes, 1 year no hurricane, 1 year. But
I
the
think
people
Florida's
they see that
overdue.
every year they are getting out again. Then
Yeah.
it's controversial. Florida, it's a beautiful weather state. The bad thing that they don't have industry, they don't have powerful manufacture like other north states. No,
Yeah.
everything here is tourism, and Miami has important things, but because it's the stop for Europe and from South America and Central America.
Yeah.
It's so important because they have a very important port. It's the capital of the cruises. It's the good things of
Yeah.
Miami, the capital of cruises. We have in high season in winter time we have like 12 or 13 cruises on the port, and we have the most big cruise in the world that is Icon of the Seas, the Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean. It can fit here 10,000 people, and it costs $2,000 million. It's brand new. 2 years ago was the first trip that they made it done in that trip. Then it's important for the cruises. It's important for the market in the containers from South America, Europe. It's
Yeah.
important. A lot of it's a connection with another travelers to connect with Europe, to connect with another states from America, from Canada, from South America. Miami has some good things and it's beautiful. The beaches are artificial. You can find in Florida and Destin Beach, Panama City, better beaches than in
I like the
Miami.
beaches in Puerto Rico better than Miami.
Yeah, clear water is because I heard that they browse sand. The army browse sand to create the beaches in South Beach. They fix it when we have a hurricane. They fix it with bringing bringing sand, artificial sand, or from other places sand
Yeah.
to my. Then the cosmopolitan Latin flavor, Latin taste is good, no? Because well, you have Peruvian food, you have Colombian food, Puerto Rican food.
Yeah.
It's not Puerto Rican, but we have Puerto Rican food. You have Argentinian, Brazilian, um, people from. I found people from Turkey. I found people from India. I got people from Russians. I ate 3 days ago Russian food in Matroshkas. It's a restaurant. It is an area from Russia. There are a lot of Jewish people in South Beach,
Yeah.
and then it's a different kind of cosmopolitan people like New York. New York is more Puerto Ricans, Dominicans in some areas. But another thing in Miami, everything is mixed. No, I have people from Chile, my neighbor. Another one is from Uruguay. Another one is from Cuba. and you have a black guy and you have another American guy. But then it's more mixed than in other areas like Arizona. There is an area for Mexican. There's an area
Mm-hmm.
for rich people. In Chicago, there is an area for Polak people from Poland, people from Italy, people from. It's more divided.
Yeah.
Miami is mixed. No, of course there are areas where it's more mixed than other areas in America, and I like it because well, you don't see that kind of divide races or people. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the people Latin people here has more power money than other areas. No, you can see in Chicago, most of the people is Mexican, poor Mexicans. So, of course, they have business. But here in Miami, you can see corporations from South America, rich people, real rich people that they don't speak English. They come to make business here. You see a more uh, middle class. Latin middle class more intellectual, no? I
Yeah.
talk with the Colombians or Puerto Ricans that they have another level. They have culture. Of course, you have low levels, no. But in Arizona, you don't have a Mexican with very good with professions. You see poor people in Arizona, Mexicans. Some of them maybe they are, but if you have conversation with Mexicans in Arizona, it's for people from Mexico that they were looking for a good opportunity. But in
Yeah.
Miami, no. Look, you find people with more studies or more professional, low people, but you can find Latin people with more intellectual view, right? Yeah,
Yeah. It's a different group of people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and the accents, no, the accents, Puerto Rican accents. You know, Puerto Rican has bendito,
Yes.
nene, bendito. Then Puerto
Well,
Rican,
tell you what, I have
the
held you
Nancy.
here for about half an hour. Let me go ahead and close this down because I know you've got a day ahead of you. So I just wanted to say to everybody, tell us what you think. Is Miami still one of the greatest cities in America, or has the cost of living, politics, and nonstop pressure changed the city? Let us know down in the comments. Every comment gets answered. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications because we've got more conversations coming. I know Alex will be joining me again. Thank you so much for being here today, Alex. I truly do appreciate it, Primo.
Thank you,
And
Primo.
for everyone else, this is No Talking Points. And we will see you in the next episode because you know what? There is always, always something going on.